Thank you for coming this day. My name is Ivory, and I felt to share more deeply my SunDance that I am living, and would welcome all of those willing to share some of your SunDance with us as well. So I am using Sage from Grandmother Flor de Mayo. She's one of the 13 grandmothers, beautiful soul. And so this is the red flower that she's put in these bundles that they grow on their land. And it's full of prayer, and the red being our root chakra, the red being our bloodline, the red being the blood that we shed even so. So we let that smoke rise for us this day. So returning to the SunDance I shared when I was on that shamanic journey that weekend, because I have come to realize it comes again and again, guiding my life. And when I was in that high state and walking down or being walked down that light, that road of light, and there was this Yeshua, teacher, master, and seen as many things throughout history, savior, many things. There he was. And the other thing that he was wearing was, of course, his crown. And it's a certain bush in Jerusalem that grows that they use, easy to wind, thorns. And the thorns are poisonous to the skin. But they used this crown, and he was wearing this thorny, quite beautiful crown, because there are flowers that will come forth that can be yellow, red, and I think it's white. But there he was on this throne made of the arms of the holy of the trees of the earth, with antlers around him and skins, and sharing with me, this is my SunDance, wearing this crown. And that crown kept coming back to me throughout my years in my own journey. So much so, I was living some very deep, profound things around this and also my ancestry. And I felt a need to make my own crown of thorns. And so in ceremony, this is what I created. It's full of my ancestors. Thank you to my friend Sherry Williams, who helped me create this for my ancestors, and all of the rest of it. But it was a very deep journey, honoring that crown of thorns in our life, because the crown of thorns represented humiliating this man, taking away, debunking the authority he stood in. And we need to come to that ourselves. Our minds are polluted, and in some ways, so many, are struggling with all that's happening. But to come, to settle, to open, because it's in the crown of thorns, it's in going into our own SunDance, whatever that may be, that will bring that new life from us. So I thought I'd, wear my beautiful crown of thorns, and would love if we could share in that ceremony one day, and we share the blood we have shed, of course, co-joined with this master that I have followed. So I also wanted to share with you what kept coming back, and this has come back again and again. And it goes back again 20, 30 years ago. My husband and I had seen a church for sale out in the country in Manitoba. And I had been following a vision I had been given about having a healing center. Well, we went to investigate this incredible peace, but it needed so much work. But this is what I lived in that moment and has also been part of my journey. So, and it's called De La Rosa Road. And so I want to invite all of you today to come walk down De La Rosa Road with me. And I'll share another piece of that sacredness that we will embark on. Okay? So this is at the church out in Manitoba, nothing else around. I stand at the I stand at the crossroads where the church for sale rests. I play a game of cards, a game of chance with the devil, or is it the dark side of God? I have 4 directions I can take. All have pitfalls, all demand of me, some more than others. As I leave the church, I can see the cross on the top of the steeple looming over me, drawing me into itself. Immediately, I find myself walking down De La Rosa Road, the road of sorrows, the road of suffering. My anger yells out, "When do I get my reward for following you?" I yell and scream again in anger, "Where is my reward?" As De La Rosa Road calls me deeper into itself. And I break down and weep as I hear the voice of the Christa, the Christ, say, "Did you think it would be anything else?" For the Christ is always present in the brokenness of life. I cry out, "Why? Why?" As I hear the Christ say, "It is the only way to life." And I weep, seeing only a sure death before me. De La Rosa Road, De La Rosa Road. Is there no other road to take? I yell out, "No wonder so many I once knew have left this road." Some practice daily meditation, some Buddhism, some New Age, some prosperity religions. Surely there is good in all of these, but I watch in confusion, as it seems for them there is no De La Rosa Road. Why me? I cry out again. I too am tempted to take another road that appears easier. De La Rosa Road, oh De La Rosa Road, will you, the Christ, accompany me? Bitter sweet is your calling. De La Rosa Road, oh De La Rosa Road, the broken-hearted walk down De La Rosa Road. De La Rosa Road, De La Rosa Road, your darkness invades me as I walk weeping with the Christ down De La Rosa Road, the road of sorrows, the road of suffering. So I want to take you back down this road that has come back and forth in my life like this. And I was 21 years old. My 2 sisters, older sisters, myself, my cousin, and 60 other people went on a tour in Jerusalem and all kinds of wonderful sacred places. And I was 21 years old. And on such and such a day, we were walking, and oftentimes I didn't really know where we were going until the guide told us. But we went into some of these places that are kind of like cave-like, and they, you know, covered them so they keep them. And we went into, and there was this cave, and we went inside, and I guess they would carve the stone, and you know there was a like a, I guess like a, hmm, well, another separate little room. So you had to, you know, go through this kind of opening, another separate little room, and all of it just being stone. So my sisters and I and another woman, maybe two more, came, and we were at the very back. And Father Freneuf, who was the one guiding this tour, a beautiful man from Saskatoon, he was doing a ceremony. And we were at the back there, and I was just listening. And suddenly, I was taken into another dimension, I guess I would say. And I found myself on a cobblestone road. And there were people on my right and left, and people on the other side of this road. And some were jeering, saying profanities, and there was okay, and there were children and coming in and out and running across this road, and I was like, where am I? And what happened next? Well, this is part of the De La Rosa Road for me, okay? Because I only share by my lived experience. So this medicine came. I was standing on the side of this as this was happening, and suddenly a man came walking down this cobblestone road with a beam on his back, and he was full of blood, and he was walking, and he passed me, and as he passed me there was a woman over here that he turned his face, and she had a rag and stepped out and wiped it. And then the vision would happen again a second time. This man, which I perceived as Jesus, wearing a beam on his back, full of blood, walking, jeering children, people calling him names. Her stepping out, he turns, wipes his face with a rag, and a third sacred time, a man walking, beam on his back, full of blood, turns his face. She wipes his face with a rag. And when he turned, of course, I never got to see his face because he was ahead of me. But while this vision took place, I was broken down. I was weeping in this cave at the back with my two sisters on either side holding that space for me. And there was another piece to the vision, but I'll share that I think another time. And at the end, what happened, I was just still weeping, just broken by this real life. And suddenly I found myself back, you know, in the space I was in. And Father Freneuf ended the service, and we heard him say, I heard him say, oh, and by the way, this is where rumor has it that Jesus was walking by with a beam on his back, and he turned, and Veronica stepped out and wiped his face with a rag. And I just broke again. And all that day, I was living on that manna, that holy bread. So that has come back to me again and again, in particular today in sharing it. I have never, as I said, shared it publicly, but I do believe it's medicine, because there's a sense of this is the road we take. Maybe it's not guised as the Christ, maybe the Buddha, because I found out later the Buddha suffers too, eh? So all of that, and we are in that today as well. But part of the journey for me, which is so incredibly special, because it is my physical, and I felt the other night as I sent that evil, well, maybe that too, but that email, and how, goodness, I read it again this morning, and how I was so down there, and calling out to all of you, because the night before had been brutal. I sat with my ancestors weeping, 3 a.m. again, in this agony and the pain too, that I'm told nothing's happening. They don't see anything, but it's there, right? So all of this journey, it's on the physical plane, but it's affecting every state of me, but calling me into this deep, deep sun dance. And I suppose that is maybe the medicine. And so I've surrendered, not given up, of course not. It takes a brave heart for us, the courage to embrace our own sun dance. And I know that each of you have one as well. I also want to say no offense to the tribes that have called this a sun dance, and the ones they truly do. And I want to honor this man from Manitoba. I hope someday to go, Matthew Makash. And he's an elder, and he's a keeper of traditional ceremonies. And he was called to do a sun dance, and the elders told him he must face whatever fears him. And in the sun dance, there is piercing, hanging, and dragging. So in ceremony, in that living that out, much medicine, because as Thich Nhat Hanh says, we must go right into the suffering. We must embrace what scares us, what fears us, because through that little, peephole, we will find life on the other side. But it's through embracing the suffering, and allowing the crown of thorns to bring us back to our nobility, to bring our minds back to a place of quiet and peace, so we can hear the spirits, feel them blowing upon us again. So continuing on this sun dance, and more being revealed, of course. We are following what we must follow with very little help. But here's what happened. When I sent that email crying out to all of you, I felt this village heart just come into my space, and each of you sharing your love for me, your prayer for me, your all of this. And I truly believe, because what started to happen was, and I'm going to read it, these prayers were like threads of God's light, and they began circling me, weaving, wrapping me in a cocoon made of the holy. I've been here before, protecting me and keeping me safe on this sacred Sundance journey. And I saw the village heart, and how, in particular, when we are in the throes of these dark nights or sun dances or whatever we name them, we need one another. And prayer is one of the, it's like our last resort, and yet it's the medicine that needs to stir what's been taking place in the basement of your heart so long ago, so that when you live it, follow it. And for me, it's through this Sundance man that I met on that journey. And so I feel that very near, I hope that is medicine for you as well. And I want to share with you, with permission, of course, from a friend who sent this email as a response to my desire. Oh, and I must say, all the prayers, I really had made up my mind, too much suffering every night. We're going to the hospital, so I tell you all. And that next night I slept, and I believe it was the village heart sharing your love with me. So this is from Bev. Hansha Ze Shonen. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hansha Ze Shonen. Hansha Ze Shonen. Great shining sun be with you. May your breath hold the rays of the Reiki purple ray to the very depths of your being. Let's say it again. Great shining one be with you. May your breath hold the rays of the Reiki purple ray to the very depths of your being. You are loved with the fierceness of the mother, Gaia. You are loved with the fierceness of the mother, Gaia. Creator is leading the way. Don't despair. I will pray. And another email came, and I took from that email just 2 words: I believe. And so this began this thread of light, God's light, even, yes, penetrating the depths of my being. And I wondered, yes, could I be healed? Why not? Miracles are afoot, yes. But it's in facing, it's in embracing, it's in being here with the journey. And so I'm going to share one more thing. And then again, so I don't forget, I want to say, please share with us what you are going through in your own SunDance, if you like. Okay. I have a sense we'll share that next time, though. So the journey is, of course, about to reaching that far, that deep, find the gold. We're panning for gold, yes, in this life. And to reach in there and find that, so that our ancestors, both living and beyond, will be freed and bless themselves. I am a new grandma. Amelia, there it is, Amelia Ivory Holmes. They always call her baby Mia. So, but Amelia Ivory Holmes. And so I share this for her and for all those living and beyond. Thank you, my friends. Please share your SunDance if you wish with me, and we'll share it. Become a village heart for one another as we journey on this journey called life, eh? So I am Ivory. This is who I am. This is my SunDance, and I'll share more of this SunDance in the not too distant future. Thank you for weaving love around me, with me, in me. I continue to journey with what is happening in this body. So let us, as a body together, also share that beam we all are carrying. So blessings, and may joy be part of the ride too. Thank you.